How about that? How awesome was that to get slimed when he scored a touchdown?
Let's stick with the NFC. Bears versus Saints real quick. Pete, what was your takeaway?
Let's see. Bears versus Saints. First of all, my God, Trubisky. First of all, he needs all the help he can get. And from the beginning of the game when he was delivering those bombs like in the end zone, and you have receivers just dropping wide open balls,
That's
you're never gonna win a game against a great team like that. You gotta score on every opportunity that's presented like that. So from the get-go, I think that was just a bad omen to them. Like that would have set a great precedence for them going in to that game. But once that started to happen, it was like quicksand. You're like, all right, Saints are going to come in. They're gonna manhandle them. It wasn't as big of a disparity as I thought it would be, but the Bears had to play a perfect game coming into it. And we've seen them fall off the last couple of games, honestly. So even David Montgomery wasn't looking that great. It wasn't going to work out for them.
If anything, I thought the game was pretty close until finally the Saints blew them away at the end, right? But like I forget what the score was at halftime, but it wasn't like it was 10-3. It was
7-3.
7-3.
Even though it was 7-3, it didn't feel like the Bears had any cohesive offense. Like, it was the whole time. It just felt like the Saints hadn't popped off yet versus the Bears defense was good, or the Bears offense was kind of getting something together. That 7-3 didn't feel like it was close.
Dude, that's actually go ahead.
I would say they had 50 rushing yards and 200 passing yards that game. So yeah, like there wasn't anything really popping off.
The conversation we were having recently about Russell Westbrook's issue, his issue is that he knows he's good. He knows he's like a prolific scorer. And so he kind of dicks around early on. And then he always has the thought in the back of his head, hey, if I have to like focus and get down to business, I can always bring us back if I'm not clicking, if I'm not scoring. I think the Saints have that same problem. They have so many offensive weapons every year in the playoffs. You watch them try to beat you fancy early on. And I think they do that with the thought in the back of their head that they know, hey, if these don't work, okay, eventually we'll get back down to business. We'll button down our shirts and tighten up our ties and we'll start doing the right things. And like that ends up screwing them because teams linger around and they don't pull away when the things don't work. Sometimes they work and they blow out the opponent right off the bat.
I agree 100%, and they cannot do that exact same thing with the Bucks because they will lose that game if they play the way they played Bears. Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. But can we just talk about the Saints? And do they not look like the 2009 Saints though? I feel like they have the ability to win this whole thing. I think they can literally beat any team.
I think they can, and I honestly love the luxury of having Taysom Hill. Like on those short distance goal lines, anything like that. Dude, the man's a beast. He always picks up the yardage or always gets the touchdown. I think that's going to be huge for them playing against the Bucks.
With him and Alvin Kamara, who can also do a little bit of everything, right? Like that's like they can like, and Brees doesn't look like he's 42 at all or about to be 42.
Dude, like he looked good. Like he had that first touchdown. Yeah, it felt like it was just like him finally getting into that end zone. It's like, all right, break off the dust. I got this.
They just need to pop off from the beginning. And they like if they do this bullshit they did with the Bears, they're gonna fucking lose against the Bucks because the Bucks obviously are potent. So I don't know. They have the ability. They just can't lose on some like miracle play again, like they have been for the last like decade at this point.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame because they're so loaded. And like, I think that's the reason Brees keeps coming back, right? Like reports are he will retire after this year, but he's been coming back because this team is just ready. Like this team has all the weapons. Just a few years ago, they had the offensive rookie of the year in Kamara and the defensive rookie of the year in Marshawn Lattimore. Like what a draft. You got both the offensive rookie and defensive